Hello, and welcome to
Papi Approved Movies.
My name is Papi.
And I'm Natalie.
In our podcast, we review and critique my favorite PG-13 movies.
Movies that I wasn't allowed to watch until I turned 13.
Every other week, Natalie and I will watch a new PG-13 movie.
And I'll see if Papi's movies live up to the hype.
Which, of course, they will.
Today we're going to be watching The Notebook.
Before we begin, there will be spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie and don't want it to be spoiled,
Press pause and come back when you're finished. Now, Papi, tell me the deets on this movie.
Hey, Natalie. How are you?
Good.
So this is week 1 of our 4-week romantic movie marathon for the month of February.
Yippee! No sci-fi or action for a whole month.
Yes, for a whole month. And then we'll finally get back to good movies. All right, The Notebook came out in 2004 with a runtime of 2 hours and 3 minutes. It's not streaming anywhere. We bought the DVD at St. Vincent de Paul's. It was written by Jeremy Levin, Jen Sardi, and based on the novel by Nicholas Sparks. It was directed by Nick Cassavetes. The main stars are Gina Rowlands, James Garner, and Rachel McAdams. Fun facts, this is the first movie adaptation for a Nicholas Sparks book. He has a ton of movies now. He's one of Mom's favorite authors. So what do you think, Nat?
It was good, but some things were weird. I think all the characters were weird, and the story, it was very Sleepless in Seattle-like.
Okay. Can you be more explanatory? Like, what does that mean?
When a woman leaves a perfectly good and respectful and nice man for some hooligan in the streets.
Okay. So you think she should have never left. Okay, well, we'll get to that when we get to the recap.
And they're both kind of toxic.
They're toxic to each other.
Yeah.
All right. What do you rate it?
I give it 4 stars.
Yeah, okay. All right. I don't know
I was
if
thinking of giving it a 3.5, but I decided I didn't dislike it that much.
You did like it quite a bit. So give it a 4-star.
Yeah, I mean, I was still entertained.
Are you not entertained? Anyways, so I do have some problems with it myself, so we'll definitely get into it, especially some medical situations that I was not a fan of.
The only thing I heard previously about this movie was it was like a TikTok, and it's this girl who just got her wisdom teeth removed, and her mom's like, so what did you do like for your birthday? And she starts talking about like, oh, how she went partying, and then the nurse is like, shh, no, you went and watched a movie. And then the mom's like, oh, what movie did you watch? And then the nurse says The Notebook. And then the girl that had her, like, surgeries just starts crying. It's like, it was so sad.
I guess that's how you know The Notebook from a TikTok video that's famous now.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Why don't we get into the recap?
Okay. Movie begins with an elderly woman named Allie looking out the window of a nursing facility. A man named Duke comes in and asks to read to her. She agrees, and he begins telling a story from the summer of 1940 in Seabrook. The story begins with Finn telling his friend Noah about a new girl named Allie. Noah sees her, and it's love at first sight, your favorite movie trope in the world. He asks her to dance, and she rejects him and goes on a Ferris wheel with another guy. Noah interrupts their date by hanging from the Ferris wheel bars.
Take a hint, bro. Leave.
He won't let go until she agrees to go out with him. She says no until he starts hanging from one arm. Then she says she'll go out with him and then pants him right in front of everybody. So that's kind of funny.
The emotional manipulation wasn't funny. But I guess we'll get into that later.
The date that she had gone to the fair with was just sitting there like, what am I going to do? I think that's a cool move. I don't know. I think, I don't know why you have any problems with it. After work, Noah finds Allie and asks when the date will happen. And she says it's not going to happen. So Finn and Noah come up with a plan and surprise Allie and Sarah with a double date to the movies. After the movies, Allie and Noah walk home and lie in the street to live for the moment. After they are almost hit by a car, they dance together. We learn that Allie is applying to colleges in the fall. She also tells him that she loves to paint. Meanwhile, in the present, old Allie tells Duke that she likes this type of story. What did you think of their first date?
It was
Young love blossoms and Allie and Noah are inseparable. They spend every day together, making out constantly. When she comes over to visit, she overhears Noah reading Walt Whitman to his father. His father loves Allie instantly. Then we see a montage of Noah and Allie spending time together, attending parties, lake jumping, learning to drive, fighting constantly, and lots of making out.
There's a scene where she's like at a lake and then she's like, tell me I'm a bird. I'm like, shut up. You're weird.
And then they say they're both birds together, and then there's birds at the end. Oh my gosh.
I was like,
that is so beautiful.
No, she was just like, tell me I'm a bird. And I'm like, girl, you're weird. Can you like take a seat?
Oh my gosh, you're a hater. I don't know. Just tell her she's a bird. That'll make her happy. One night, her dad catches her making out with Noah and asks to meet him. Her parents are rich aristocrats from the South. At a get-together, Noah is completely out of place, especially when he tells them what he does and how much he makes. Allie's mom wants it to end. Her dad thinks it'll all be over when she goes to school in the fall. So there's that scene where he's at like this luncheon and all those people are kind of snooty and stuck up. His best friend Finn is there. Like, how does Finn belong there?
I don't know.
They work together.
Yeah, like they're the same type of people.
Yeah, but Finn fits right in and Noah's like terrible.
I don't think it's less a money thing. I mean, it is kind of about money, but Finn is also just a hooligan. So.
But he's there.
But the other guy is not a hooligan.
Noah? The main character's name is Noah.
Yeah, no, Noah is a hooligan. That's why, like, that's a thing, like, on top of him not having money. But his friend is not a hooligan.
They look like the same guy. They both work at the same job.
Yeah, but Noah acts like a degenerate.
How?
He's hanging from Ferris wheels.
They don't see that. He's just a hardworking guy. That's all they can tell about him. And a good son, right? He takes care of his dad.
Yeah, yes.
I don't know. I saw that and I go, Finn is there. What's he doing there? And how does he belong when Noah is like ostracized?
I didn't even notice.
One night, Noah and Ellie want to have some privacy, and Noah takes her to the Windsor plantation, an abandoned house in ill repair. He tells her that he will fix the house for her. She asks for a white house with blue shutters and a room for her to paint in. He promises to do it all. She plays him the piano, and they almost become intimate, but Finn comes in and tells them her parents are looking for her. They return to the house, and Noah overhears Allie's mom telling her that the relationship needs to end. She says Noah's no good. He's trash. Noah leaves and Allie chases after him. He says that the relationship cannot work and they break up.
This part was also manipulative because she's like, break up with me. And he's like, I'm not going to do that. And then she's like, fine, then I'll break up. We're over. And then like 2 minutes later, she's like, but we're not actually over. Shut up.
You don't like Allie?
She's manipulative.
She's manipulative too. I like it.
Manipulative. She's all of it.
She's all things manipulative. The next day, Allie's parents are packing up to leave Seabrook. Noah and Allie try to say goodbye, but miss each other. Noah writes a letter a day for a whole year, but Allie never gets them because her mom hides them from her.
Did she not ever get the mail?
She's at school. So maybe he wrote home?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But like, he's a smart guy. Why would he ever think to do that, knowing that her parents hate him and that she's not home?
If someone wrote you a letter every day for a year, you would never know.
That's true.
You've never checked the mail in your life.
2 weeks ago, I checked because I had a package and then I left the mail in the mailbox.
That's terrible. Anyway, so a whole year goes by and she never gets one of the letters. Allie's now in school and volunteers to be a nurse's aide, where she cares for a man named Lon. He asks her out. After school one day, Lon comes calling. He's smart, handsome, funny, and very wealthy. They fall in love and her parents very much approve. He proposes and she says yes. Noah buys the Windsor plantation with the help of his dad. He starts fixing the house because he thinks that if he completes it, Allie will come back to him. He finishes it and takes a picture in the paper with the house.
He looks depressed in that picture.
Yeah.
You know what he looks like? You know that painting where it's like the guy with the pickaxe or whatever and then like woman?
Yeah.
It looks like that picture except for the woman died and he's depressed.
Okay. That makes sense. Maybe like the sequel picture. Picture 1, picture 2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Allie is preparing for the wedding when she sees a picture of Noah and passes out.
It's a tad bit dramatic, don't you think?
She goes and talks to Lon and tells her she needs to get away to clear her head for the wedding. He's nervous, but he does agree. She goes to Seabrook, where she meets Noah.
What good is going to come out of this?
Yeah.
What good will come out of this? She knows what she's doing.
You think her intention was always to be with him?
Yes.
Like that's why she went?
Yes. What else is she going to do?
Say goodbye. Actually, I don't know. But I think she's just mad at him for never writing her, right? Because she didn't know. And was super upset and just wanted to get to the bottom of it. Like, why did you abandon me? Like, I loved you. We loved each other. Was it not real? I think that's what it was.
Yeah, but like
closure.
Why couldn't you just go with your husband then?
That's an awkward question. Hey, fiance, let me go ask this ex-boyfriend of mine why he didn't love me anymore.
Well, like, what answer is she going to get out of that? Be like, oh, I didn't love you anymore because it was just a summer fling. Then she's just going to go cry and like get married.
She'll feel better. Like, okay, I made the right choice.
Okay, but the other option is, I did right. I love you, blah, blah, blah. And then now she's like stuck with this feeling. There's only two options, and one of them is going to lead to her like depression, and the other one is going to lead to her like longing for the past. This is not going to come out good any other way. Yeah, no, I agree. I think there's no way that this works out, right? She's just not a good wife. In present day, old Allie starts to recognize this story and asks if she's heard it before, and Duke says more than once. Then the nurse takes Duke to see the doctor while old Allie plays the piano. Duke is in poor health. The doctor gives him the worst advice ever. He tells Duke that old Allie's dementia is incurable and she will never remember anything. Duke says God is miraculous, and Allie starts playing the song she played for him in the Windsor plantation when they were young. So this is the moment where you realize that the characters in the story... I mean, when did you realize that the characters in the story are these two old people? As soon as he started reading. You thought, this is us right here. Yeah. Who is it just going to be some random two old people? Or it could be Lon. That wouldn't make sense, though. He doesn't use his name. It's called Duke for a reason, right? They didn't use Noah or Lon to like leave the mystery open. I guess you weren't fooled at all. No, not really. This is the part that I hate about this movie. Obviously, we've dealt with dementia with our grandma, you know? Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, he won't remember it. You know nothing about dementia then, doctor. You went to medical school and you're a failure. Because, like, what are you talking about? Yeah, that's not how it works. Yeah, they remember things, they don't. Sometimes they're jumbled up, but you can't be like, oh, no, don't try to remind her of the past. It won't work. I mean, that's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Yeah. Later, Duke's kids come and visit and meet old Allie, and they're very affectionate. After a while, she excuses herself. We come to learn that Duke is Noah, and those are Allie's children and grandchildren. They ask him to come home, and he says Allie is his home. In the story, Allie stays for dinner. Later, they talk, and she tells him that she loves Lon. Noah reads her poetry and professes his love. He asks her to come back tomorrow, and she does. Like, if it would have ended right there, they would have been like, all right, it was nice. I'm going to get married. I'm happily engaged to Lon. Yeah. I want to see how you were. I'm happy you're well. I'm well, and I'll see you tomorrow. Now go paint your house a different color, because I'm leaving for good. She comes back the next day, and they go on a romantic boat ride. Then she yells at him for not writing, and he said he wrote 365 letters. And they start kissing. I would have given up. I would have went in like 5 letters and been like, well, she's not responding and she doesn't care. So I'm just done with this. 5? That's it? Just 5? Well, like when someone texts you 5 times and then they're like, then you block them? Because I'm trying to see what makes sense of 5 Instagram posts and then you're like, now you're blocked as my friend. Instagram posts are public to everyone. I don't know what's going on here. I'm just saying that you obviously have zero patience for love. No. Zero patience for love. Anyways, they go to the house and they're intimate. Inappropriate. Hashtag what? I was going to say hashtag higher your standards. Higher your standards. You wrote 365 letters. All you write is 5? What standard is that? Actually, maybe like 7, like a week. A week. You're like, I didn't get to it on Monday. So it was really like 3 weeks. That usually is how long it takes for me to give up on a crochet project. So terrible. They wake up and they spend the day together. Allie spends the night again and paints in the room he made for her. Then her mother comes over and tells her Lon is in Seabrook. They talk and her mom takes her to a lumberyard and shows Allie her first love. She understands her love is real
and gives her Noah's letters.
This part is weird because...
So dumb. I agree.
Yeah, it's really dumb. First of all, the moms are like, I come here and watch him and think of what could have been. First of all, why are you watching him? That's creepy. And you're married. Like,
right.
What are you doing? Like, are you kidding me? And then, like, why does this even need to happen?
Do you think she did more than watch?
Probably.
Do you think, like, she went back to him the way Allie went back to Noah?
I think so. I feel like he's just saying that they're cheating on, that she's cheating on him, and that it's okay because it's his mom. Like, no, stop.
Do you see? There's a scene where the guy looks up and kind of notices. I wonder, is he looking at her like the knowing face of like, "Hey, you're back," or like, "Wait, is that girl I met 35 years ago or something like that?"
I don't know, but it's also just creepy. Like, that's just creepy. Like, yeah, sometimes I come back here and watch my ex. That's psychotic, and he needs to get a restraining order.
I don't think he cares. I think he probably loves her, too.
Probably already has a wife, so what is he even doing either?
He's not doing anything. He's just working. The dude's just at work.
Yeah, but, like, what is he doing? Like, you're saying that he's still in love with her. I
bet. I mean, maybe that's the whole point. This first love is the most pure love. Maybe your first love.
No, it's not. Hashtag liar your standards.
I think that there is something about first loves that are like eternal. I think so. It's like the first time you fell in love. Oh my gosh, my heart broke. Because, 99% of the time, first love is not your last love. Usually you end up falling in love and break up, and then you end up falling in love with like 36 more times. I don't know how many times people fall in love with. I don't know what the average I fell in love with person number is, but it's usually not the first. And I would say that that's like the purest one because you're like young and hopeful for the future.
Yawn.
You got problems. Anyways, but why did he give her Noah's letters? That's the dumbest thing right there. Does she want her to break up with Lon?
Yeah, like, what is your problem? You should have, like, burned those. Like, why did you keep those, first of all? Why would she ever keep those?
She never opened them, though. She just kept them.
See, if I was a mom and I hated this kid, I would have burned these letters a long time ago.
Yeah. It does make no sense. And then why give it to her now unless you really want her to break up with Lon?
Exactly. And you love Lon, so.
She loves Lon, right? He's rich, and he's exactly what she wants for her.
She's trying to say, things don't work out. Here I am, staring at this strange man. But my life is so much better now, right? As I stare at the strange man. By the way, here are your letters.
Yeah. Even if she loves Lon, never goes back to Noah, she's going to read them.
Yeah. The mom is here for a reason, so obviously she's questioning things.
I don't know. Ellie goes back to Noah and tells him she's going back to Lon to see if he'll still have her. On the way to see Lon, she reads the letter. She and Lon talk, and he says he didn't want to convince his fiancée to marry him. He knows she's lost to him. Lon is actually the best human ever. He's not a villain at all.
No.
He's super handsome, funny, good-looking, nice guy. Wonderful and loving. Understanding gives her he was nervous about her leaving. He was like, yeah, go ahead. Do what's right. And then when she is unsure about marrying him.
And then cheats on him.
He's like, do what makes you happy. As opposed to being upset and getting angry at her. He doesn't do any of that. Allie goes back to Noah and they end up together. At that moment, old Allie remembers that the story is about them and calls Duke Noah. She's lucid and they kiss and dance together. She tells Noah she loves him and asks about the kids. Then in an instant, it all goes away. She forgets and starts screaming and yelling. The doctor comes in and sedates her, and Noah's left crying. Noah ends up having a heart attack. He leaves his room and goes to Allie, and she remembers him. And they profess their love to one another. They snuggle with each other, and that night they die in each other's arms. The end.
Now that's some Disney magic.
It's a little too,
childish.
A little too childish? No, I mean, it's sweet. The fact that they die together. The only way they can be together.
Childish, like, magic. Yay. That's only gonna ever happen in, like, Disney love story.
The one thing is, he came to her at night and she recognized him.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was thinking that every day he reads her this story. And then eventually she kind of remembers. Some days she does and sometimes she doesn't. But he didn't have to read the story this time. He just went to her and she remembered.
My thought process is like, does this just happen like every night? Like, does she remember him suddenly at night? Because like that would have been really bad if she didn't remember. Like some strange man walks into your room and he's just like
freaks out,
gets next to you and like gets into your bed and chills with you.
Well, before he got in the bed, she did recognize him, but I mean that's scary, right? You're in the middle of the night, you wake up and you see this stranger
walk into your room, and like, how is that possible? Like that, it happens every single night.
I don't think it does. I don't know. I mean, they don't sleep together. They have their own rooms, probably.
Yeah.
All right. Could this movie still be made today?
I don't know. I mean, I already told you. I think they're all toxic.
Tell me, what's your static, bro? What's your problem, bro?
Well, the whole storyline is just like, you know.
I don't. Explain it to me.
This girl falls in love with this guy, but then he's broke, so she has to leave. Then she goes and gets with the rich guy, and then she sees a paper of him when he finally like has done something with his life. So she goes back to him, cheats on her fiance, and then leaves her fiance, and then yay.
And they live happily ever after. And he's a devoted husband that takes care of her every day through her dementia, possibly causing his heart to fail. It ends nice. I mean, not the death, obviously, but it ends in the fact that this love was real. They have a family together and they have grandchildren. All right. Would you change anything? There's nothing you would change then?
Yeah. So the Ferris wheel scene, he basically is just manipulating her and saying like, I'll kill myself if you don't go out with me. And that's kind of like not good. Okay. And kind of very, very bad.
Okay.
And then...
all right. I disagree. I think it was very romantic, but go ahead.
No. He says like on their first date, he's like, when I want something, I have to have it. Like when I want to slap you, then I'm going to do it.
He didn't say slap you.
No, I'm saying that. I'm saying that. That's, I will slap him.
Okay, sure.
No, because like, what are you talking about? When I want something, like, am I just object?
True.
Like, and like just like, oh, you have to have it. Like, that's just icky.
True.
And then when she goes back, she's like, oh, I won't drink that much during the dinner, like, because I'm a cheap drunk. And he's like, go slow so I don't have to take advantage of you.
I don't even remember that scene.
I do. It was disgusting. I wrote it down in my little notebook. And he's like, well, then drink slow so I don't have to take advantage of you. What do you mean have to take advantage of you?
I think it's jokes. I don't think he's actually thinking of taking advantage of you.
Well, it's not funny.
She started by calling herself a cheap drunk.
And then she goes and says, don't do that. I'm married. Like, so you're married now. And then he's like, not yet.
I mean, none of this is untrue. She's not married yet.
Like, oh, so you're married now and you're at this random guy's house. I thought you were engaged. Like,
it's not a rando. It's a very special person in her past. Her first love.
And then he's like, not yet. Would you look at that? You're not married yet. I can still take advantage of you, I guess.
Yeah, that's about right. Anything else?
No.
All right. Did it pass the Bechdel test?
Yeah.
Oh, very progressive movie. That's why. This movie's about feminism and... No, go ahead. Bechdel test is a test check for female representation. It has 3 questions. Question number 1. Does it have 2 or more named female characters?
Yeah, there's Allie.
Yes.
And then the mom probably has a name. And then she has a best friend. Is it like Mary or something?
I don't remember her name. But yeah, she has her best friend who's Finn's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Question number 2. Do the female characters talk to each other?
Yes. Allie has to talk to her mom, and Allie talks to her bestie Wesley.
Okay. Question number 3. Do you talk about anything other than a man?
Well, plot twist, there's also a nurse, and she talks to the nurse when she's about to play the piano, and then the nurse is like, go play the piano. And she's like, I don't know how to do that. And then the nurse is like, yeah, you do. And then she goes and plays a song.
All right, there you go. So it does pass the Bechdel test.
And the nurse's name is Esther.
Esther the nurse. I like Esther. It's a good name.
I don't know what it means.
It means nurse. I don't know. I just make it up. I don't know what it means either. All right, so it does pass the Bechdel test. Very progressive film about female love and her choice to decide who she truly loves. Fights the capitalist machine of aristocracy and goes for love.
No, she doesn't.
Money.
She literally only goes back to him when he finally has something.
You know, he didn't. I mean, he's not rich.
He has a house now, though, and like it's not even about him being rich. It's about him having something. He had nothing, and now he has something, and all of a sudden she wants to go back to him.
That house is literally hers.
She could have roomed on over any time. She knew that he was going to stay in that city, so as soon as she left college, she could have roomed on over.
He went away to war.
Yeah, but like so she doesn't know that.
I mean, it's not like you remember him anymore. You're like with Lon, and then you see a picture of your past, and you're like, oh my gosh. He built that house exactly the way I wanted. He made the colors that I wanted, the shutters, everything about that house, he made for me. And then that's why she passed out. It made sense. I think I would have passed out too.
No, but I'm just saying that when she was still a nurse, before Lon or anything, she could have gone and roomed on over back to Seabrook or whatever it was called.
He cut her out. He broke up with her, and then he never saw her again.
Well, when she goes and talks to him, she goes and says, why didn't you write me the letters? She could have done that before. She could have been like, why didn't you write me the letters?
My question is, why didn't she write him letters?
Exactly.
Right.
Everything is wrong with these people.
He still gave it a 4-star.
I mean, it was entertaining.
It was a little emotional at the end, obviously, with the oldie fogies passing away and the fact that she had dementia. And we've kind of gone through that this year, so. I
wanted to give it a 3.5 stars, but I looked at some of the 3.5 stars and I realized I liked them less than The Notebook. So The Notebook had to be a 4 stars.
You're going to like re-rate all these movies and you're going to be like 1 star, 1.5 stars, 2 stars.
1.5 stars.
Ocean 11, 5 stars. You know,
no.
Nice still, 5 stars. All right. Anything else?
No.
Thank you for tuning in to Papi Approved Movies.
If you like this episode, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcast app or like our podcast on YouTube.
We put out an episode every Monday.
If you want to see extra podcast content, follow our TikTok at Papi Approved Movies.
If you want to suggest a movie for us to watch and critique,
email us at papiapprovedmovies@gmail.com.
That's papiapprovedmovies@gmail.com. No spaces, no caps.
We'll try our best to get to your suggestion, and remember, it has to be PG-13.
Next week, Sophia will be back, and we'll be watching Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind.
And I'll be back in 2 weeks to watch How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
I'm Papi.
And I'm Natalie.
See you next time.
Bye.